welcome to the Pitch of Discontent. This is Owen and
Paige.
Paige back again for the Weekly Roundup. This is episode
Weekly Roundup.
I believe this is episode 181.
Yes, I know that definitively.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, we're going to get into some good alternative tunes this week. Got a banger playlist for you. Before we do that, we have a couple of notes at the top of the show. Paige, for you, I have a note here that says chicken shop rant. Would you like to educate our watchers and listeners?
I feel like I want to come in from a different angle because I don't really want to put down fellow creators or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
But something that's really grinding. What's the bit from Family Guy? You know what really grinds my gears?
That's exactly the bit.
Yeah. Like I saw like the Office trailer this week for Australia, and
looks bad, by the way.
Yeah. I think it just like lacks. It's funny. In every other form of media that I consume, I'm really tired of self-awareness. Like it's just there are other types of humor. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But if we're specifically talking about The Office, the characters aren't self-aware, but you can always tell the writers are self-aware. So they talk about nuances in corporate America and the kind of failings of that system a very like slapstick tongue-in-cheek sort of way.
Well, the whole idea is that everyone's meant to be weird and kooky, with kind of the exception of Jim and Pam as the straight everyman and woman couple who are kind of who are just kind of like, hey.
You're the normal one.
But yes, I get what you mean.
Yeah, and I guess like I don't know if I've ever seen Australian media be that self-aware. And I think it's something that's really lacking in our shit, and I would love to see that in writing and on our television. Just like something that is a little bit more nuanced and discusses kind of the issues that we have in our society in a way that we can kind of laugh at ourselves, but maybe look at it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if I have the faith in that particular medium to do that. Anyway, my main issue with it is like, why can't we ever do anything new? Like, why is it that the reason that I specifically said I want to have a chicken shop date rant is because I'm seeing all these podcasts crop up where it's like Australian creators doing like a chicken shop date inspired. One girl specifically advertised that that's what she was trying to do. This isn't directed at her in any way. It's more just like a really big creator kind of did it. And I was like, I just don't think that you guys are understanding that it's not about the chicken shop. It's about Amelia. Like you can't just like interchangeably switch her out with anyone and it's going to be, the same thing. Like, no, the point is that she's really funny and interesting and has a really unique interviewing style.
Yeah.
And then to play off of that in her personality, she did it as a date at a chicken shop because it's kind of elucidating that point of like, she's kind of fucking weird. That's sick. I don't know. I just kind of wish that we had, and I mean, I see the irony in me saying this from my Two White People podcast, but I do just kind of wish we had more unique ideas in the content that we're making as Australians.
Yeah.
We don't have to do what everyone else is doing all the time. Like, and we also don't have to make shit for Americans as much as I love our American viewers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like actually a lot of our viewers. But
that's a decent percentage, yeah.
I do think that like if you go out earnestly, make the content that is true to you, you'll attract the viewers that resonate with you and what you do. And I don't know, I guess I just really believe in our entertainment industry and it still feels like it's in such an infancy. And I don't want to see everyone shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have so many different ways that I could take this. Like, I could go into the philosophy behind why we can't do anything new and how it's a entirely cultural problem that's not unique to our country. But I think if we're talking about like the specific examples, like, we have a unique media ecosystem in this country and we don't really need to be borrowing and rehashing the ideas from outside it. Like, we could just do original stuff here. like we were kind of talking about this off mic, but the example that I used was like the Batuta Advocate podcast. You know, I think it's called like The Last Video Store or whatever.
Yeah. Which is a similar format, but there's a unique spin on it.
But at least they came up with their own brief. You know what I mean? And
I just think that it's no longer about the setting there. The setting's just complementing the
exactly
the content itself.
Like with the chicken shop thing, right? Like the setting is the hook.
Yeah.
The viewers are not tuning in week on week because they love the chicken shop.
No.
Or the idea.
No. That's what I like.
The idea of the guests being there is like the chicken shop.
Yeah, I think that there's a point to that of like bringing these very glamorous, like unique stadium artists in and interviewing them in like these kind of very like, you know, everyday settings is funny and weird. But that is still to kind of highlight how funny and weird Amelia is.
It's the same reason that like Hot Ones is like a big thing.
Yeah.
Because the idea of getting in like celebrities and having them eat increasingly hotter versions of fucking wings is like a cool, interesting idea and hook. But the thing that made that show popular was not the fact that they were eating wings, it was the fact that the host is a good host, that the interviews were always good, organic, fun interviews that had a more relaxed vibe than a regular press junket.
Yeah.
And it was also just the fact that they were sitting down eating wings. It was a way to like break through the facade of like celebrity and interviewer.
Yeah, for sure.
So like if you can put people at ease regardless of the setting, then that's kind of what people want.
That's the flow. Well, that's the thing is I don't think it is what people want because this isn't like shade at any of the creators. I think that people do want us to copy. Like I think they do want like the Australian version of things. And I think that's bad. I think that we should really embrace ourselves as our own culture. Like I saw another thing and I see people say this all the time is like the best thing about Australia is that we don't have culture. Australian culture is our lack of culture. And I just, first of all, if you're white, stop saying that, please. It's really ignorant. But also like, I don't think it's true.
No,
I mean,
not.
everyone has heard of Australian stereotypes. Like we do have things that make us us and unique. And if we're going to get over this whole tall poppy bullshit, like it really means that we have to, I mean, first of all, support each other, which is why I'm saying like this isn't shade at any content creator. I support you. Get on your grind. Do what you got to do. Fucking try what you got to try. Give formats a go. Sure as shit, we're doing that, you know? But like, I really would like to just like put out into the universe that like we as Australians just like really support each other and like support each other trying new things and having our own sort of identity in this very competitive, like oversaturated content landscape.
Yeah.
That's all. That's my rant. And I knew you guys would let me have it and now you guys love me and let me talk my shit. So that's all.
We love it.
Thanks, guys.
I have a couple of notes to tack on to the end of that. Not a rant, though, so I'll just kind of like breeze through these. Over the weekend, I went to Kingpin Fest.
Kingpin?
Kingpin.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, thank you. Here in Melbourne, it's a great hardcore lineup. Saw a whole bunch of bands. I think I saw like 8 or 9 bands in like 6 or 7 hours. Saw a whole bunch of former friends of the show or current friends of the show, I guess I could say. Guys from Post Heaven.
It's time to get up.
Crew from Knuckle Dragger and Halfman. Halfman played. They were fucking great. Outsiders Code played. They were fucking great.
I was there, so this is hurting me in my soul over and over again.
Saw Miles Away play for probably the first time in a decade, and that
one hurt particularly hard.
So sick.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say it was cool.
It seemed like you had a lot of fun.
It was good.
Hanging out with the crew, the gang.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then I have a couple of records to shout out that dropped last week. So we have the new one from Kubla Khan. It's called Exhibition of Prowess. Probably the definition of like knuckle dragging mosh music. Yes, it is overly simplistic, but I would also argue that there is a lot of like science to creating like really like good groovy mosh music.
It's not easy. Well, I mean, I can't imagine it being easy.
And they're some of the best to ever do it. I think. So anyway, that record rips. If you just want shit to fucking mosh to, that's the one to go. And then what else came out? We've got the new record from Unto Others called Never Neverland. If you're into like 80s post-punky gothy sort of stuff.
It's called Never Neverland. I would have thought it was like, metal for some reason.
I mean, if you want that, but you also want like glam 80s like riffs on top of like the post-punk and the baritone, like that's the perfect band.
That's a pretty good sell.
Yes, thank you. And I've got another record here, but I've abbreviated it and I can't remember what it is. So I'm not going to shout it out because I can't remember.
Cool.
Good.
Good job, producer.
Should we get into the main show?
I think so.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, Paige. First up for this week, we have a new track from shape-shifting artist Poppy.
Oh, yeah. I did see this advertised.
So she's come back with a second single for 2024, continuing her kind of pivot, I guess I would say, into heavier music.
I feel like she pivoted like a decade ago, but sure.
Yeah, so...
Just because you're new to it doesn't mean the rest of us have been sleeping on it.
Sorry. But this new one is called They're All Around Us. It is a metalcore tinged track. I've got a quote here on the lyrical themes. The seemingly about keeping a keen eye on the untrusty ones in our midst.
Okay. Yeah. The venom is what keeps me alive. That type shit.
Yes. This is the second Poppy track. For her to collaborate with former Bring Me the Horizon member Jordan Fish. So he's co-produced this one alongside the previous single, which was New Way Out.
Okay.
But this one also has a writing contribution from former Fever 333, current House of Protection member, guitarist Stephen Harrison.
Rad.
So pretty crazy kind of co-write production team up on this one. It's probably the heaviest track that she's put out.
I do think like that maybe like the alternative scene is being a bit more like embracive of her as well.
Definitely.
And that's really cool to see. It kind of opens it up to a like more collaborative crowd. And
I feel like she's always, like you say, kind of leaned into like the heavy and alternative kind of, aesthetic and sound.
Except for when she was just doing, I am Poppy. Nightmare Fuel.
But you're right. I think her recent guest feature with Knock Loose on the track Suffocate, which we featured on the show, that's when everyone was kind of like, oh,
this shit's for real.
She could just do this.
Yeah, she does do this.
And as you will see, that's pretty much exactly what we've got here.
Yeah,
so.
I just want to say that, like, I knew before she was cool.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, she had millions of followers on YouTube, but like, still before.
All right, well, let's jump into the track. This is Poppy, They're All Around Us.
Okay, let's do this. What up?
They are all around us.
I hope not, to be honest.
Thoughts?
I really loved that. I think like her kind of hyper pop cleans mixed with like a really good solid like scream.
I think the thing that caught me off guard the most is like, yeah, she's had heavy stuff before, but very riffy.
Yes.
Very like riffy in a very like late 2000s, early 2010s metalcore sense.
A lot more like, there's a lot more intent.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
Like that, it's just a very purposeful, well thought out. Like, I don't know, because that implies that her other stuff isn't well thought out. I still think all of that is.
No, it's just a difference of degrees. Though. This one can feel more intentional.
I think that's just the best word. This one feels more intentional. It feels like there's a very clear cut direction.
Yeah.
I just think like it's sick. There's such a like, I'm always saying like every pop artist especially like hyperpop artists, should have like some heavy shit in their music just for fun, like just experiment with it. And I mean, that's her whole fucking thing basically. And that's rad. And I love it. It's like bringing two different genres that are my faves together into one. And that's sick.
Hell yeah. Let's pivot into the next song for this week.
Sure.
So we're going to keep things Australian on this one. We've got a new track from post-hardcore outfit Secret World. So this is kind of a super group of sorts, I guess you could say. It's featuring Tom Maddox, who is the CEO of Essential Last Ride Records.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kind of the hardcore label of note for Australia at the
Love
moment.
Last Ride.
And then also features Josh Campio, who is a former Hellions member, current Trophy Eyes member.
Oh, yeah.
And now the full lineup for the band has kind of blown out to include other members of Downside, Speed, Phantoms, and a bunch of other crew. Basically just a mates fest for all those dudes.
That's so fun. Just like having some tinnies, jamming out in the garage.
Yeah. So like, I mean, without any kind of
dad coded,
without any like insider knowledge, I would imagine that it's probably like
them all kissing.
Like one dude is like the main,
and they were boys.
You done?
Yeah.
I would imagine that it's like one person doing like a passion project thing here with like maybe the
just
soul.
Being like, hey, mates.
Yeah. Doing the most of the songwriting stuff and then being like, hey friends, do you all want to jump on this shit? But anyway, it sounds sick.
Wait, that's an actual lyric from, what's the song with Hayley Williams? She goes, can I jump on this?
Dude, go for it.
Yeah, dude, go for it.
You're thinking of Set Your Goals?
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
The other interesting thing to note is that the band has signed with Sunday Drive Records for American distribution. So still doing Last Ride because obviously Tom's in the band he's going to put out his own shit in Australia.
It'd be really weird if he didn't.
But I mean, Sunday Drive are a great label. We featured a bunch of the bands in their catalog on the show before. So a very like-minded team up to do American stuff and Australian stuff. But anyway, they've announced a new song with this kind of like new lineup and this new partnership. So let's jump into that. This is Secret World, Living Less.
Okay, cool.
You find something wrong with everything that I do. When I'm thinking about her, you want me thinking about you ever born. So what's your sign? And now I told you to waste your time. I don't believe in those things, it's the least I can do. When I'm thinking about her, you want me thinking about. You wanna know how it feels that I'll be this sinking boat. Tie some stones to your feet.
Yo.
Super fun.
Oh my God, so catchy. We were both just like bopping the whole time.
Yeah, it's just like a really nice mid-tempo, fun track. And I feel like this is kind of my favorite.
This driving music.
Yeah, totally. But like, this is my favorite kind of thing of like hardcore dudes doing like hardcore adjacent music. You know, like your drug churches.
Yeah, I thought of drug church.
Your fiddleheads.
I know they don't sound alike, but I just can.
I think there's a lot of sonic overlap between like drug church and stuff.
That gravelly sort of, but also very unique voice is what matches it. But I still think sonically it's completely different.
Yeah, and you could come at this from like a completely different angle too. Like even if you're not like a hardcore kid, you could be like a punk guy into like Jawbreaker and stuff and listen to this and be like, oh, this is dope. So like it is covering a lot of bases in terms of like sonic kind of like overlap, but at a songwriting level, it's just a good tune, just a good, fun, upbeat track.
Understands the assignment.
Yes, indeed.
For sure.
No word on whether they're putting together a new release, but I would imagine with the Sunday Drive partnership that they're probably working on some new stuff. So keep eyes and ears peeled for that, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so keen. This has definitely immediately been put on the saved playlist for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of putting stuff in the saved playlist, I have a new track from another post-hardcore supergroup, S.Dunes.
Shut the fuck up.
are back with a new song. I knew you'd be stoked with this one. Now, last time we featured these guys was back in February. They put out that standalone single on Valentine's Day.
So good.
So that was cool. But this new one is called Fatal Deluxe.
Oh.
It's out now through Fantasy Records.
I like the name.
Yes. I have a quote here from guitarist Frank Iroh, who shares, in my opinion, Fatal Deluxe marks the official opening of Chapter 2 for S.Dunes. It's a song that bridges the gap musically between where we were as a band and individually and catches the listener up to where we are headed. It breaks quite a few conventional rules along the way, wipes clean the preconceptions of what the band is and might be capable of. It is a song I didn't want to stop listening to after we recorded it, and a song I cannot wait to play for a live audience. Those feelings are quite often the signs of something truly special.
That is so special. I can't stand the sound of my own voice to the point where editing this show can be really difficult for me. And so
I killed that part of me a long time ago.
yes, with repeatedly doing it. Yeah, so like for an artist to create music and be like, wow, I love this myself. Like, and I mean, they've said that before, right? Like they make music they want to listen to.
Totally.
So yeah, I mean, very true to form. And I also like that it's not a filler track. It's part of the story.
Yes.
Hate filler episodes.
So in terms of what the band's up to, they are kind of rolling through like the festival circuit at the moment. So they're appearing at Riot Fest, Louder Than Life, Furnace Fest, Aftershock, and When We Were Young, in addition to doing a full US tour with Rise Against. So they're busy boys, got a lot of stuff on their plate.
Whoa.
Let's jump in and have a listen because I want to know what you think about it. This is S.Dunes' Fatal Deluxe.
I'm still overwhelmed at the idea of that tour. I'm sorry. You're going to have to give me a minute. Let's do this. I like how you just told me to shut up at the end.
Yeah, the ending is very anticlimactic. It kind of has like this instrumental build and you think it's going to have like one last kind of pop, but then that crescendo peters out.
What is it about?
I do not know.
Yeah, it's
like lyrically, I don't know.
Yeah, cool. Neat.
But I mean, like his voice is
beautiful. We need to have an
angelic.
open reading of it.
Well, what did you think it was about?
I'm not too sure. I think I was more invested instrumentally than I was lyrically in that one. Because, like, I mean, that's my favorite thing about this band. Like, I also think of the vocal as just another instrument when I listen to S.Dunes because it's just so beautifully woven in.
Especially when you've got such an acrobatic kind of vocal going on there.
So
like,
pretty.
His vocals are insane.
Hey, Dad.
He just has such a unique vocal tone and it's like so immediately resonant.
How someone wants to tell me who sounds like him and I can't remember who they said and I was like, no. No one sounds like this. No, it escapes me. Anyway.
Cool anecdote.
Really.
Love that one.
I'm currently really like not feeling well, just so you guys know. But I ultimately, in summation, I really love this song. Therefore, and thus, it was good.
Therefore and thus.
You know when you use the padding words because you got to hit the word count?
Yeah.
He doesn't know because he's a fucking academic.
I do think it's interesting that Frank kind of says that this is the bridge between like where they were and where they're going. Because I found this one to be like quite playful instrumentally. And kind of almost going to more like a bluesy kind of thing, at least in the guitar line.
For sure.
So
I could hear that.
Interested to see where that goes.
It's cool how it starts one way and ends one way, which is taking what he said quite literally.
Like a literal journey.
And that's really cool. Yeah. You know?
Excited to hear more from S.Dunes because with that amount of talent in the band, like...
Honestly, I've said this before, but it's messed up that you guys haven't saved a shred for the rest of us. That's all I'm saying.
Crazy.
Keeping all that talent. You're wealth hoarding. You're talent hoarding.
Speaking of talent, I have a new track from noodly emo pop punk sad boys Mulligan.
Love them.
Yes. Now, they previously dropped a record last year called Why Would I Watch? And that was their most recent full length.
Voyeurism.
They have followed that up with a 3-track EP titled Warmer Weather, which is out now in full through Wax Bodega. They put out a new music video for the track that I'm going to play for you, which is called Fly Move, parentheses, the whole time. And I've got a quote here from vocalist Paige Sanville, who states, "I've been towing the line between antisocial and agoraphobia. I've spent the better
same. Oh my God.
I've spent the better part of a year being as insulated and still as possible. When I'm home alone and all I have to do is not die, that's more or less all I do. Not die."
Bro. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you hardcore. And having like a little puppy as a sick excuse to not have to emerge from my gremlin cave is so good, but it's only making it worse. And I really got to get back in the game.
Yeah. I will say this track is probably my favorite Mulligan track in years. I enjoyed the last record. Like,
I love the last record.
That's no diss to any of their previous stuff, but this
fucking dare you.
This track, when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is like a tune.
It was
this
like
the
an
one.
Experience.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So let's jump in and have a listen. This is Mulligan, Fly Move, the whole time.
Okay.
Can't help but feel there's something wrong with me. Hide in the house with friends that I should see. All I want is not to hurt. Cigarettes that always burn. Unlock the door and stand in the highway. Errands to run and calls that I should make. All I've got is busy work. Liquor stores and comic books. Can't help but feel there's something wrong with me.
Okay.
All right, what do you think?
Well, the build up that you gave made me think it was going to be like super different, but I think it fits into their catalog like pretty perfectly.
I don't think it's like a departure from their sound or anything.
No, okay.
I just think like the things
I misunderstood.
The things that they do well,
they did here.
They execute very well here. Like, I just think it's a very good synthesis of all of the bits that make them so good.
Yeah.
I think in particular, like we've talked about this before, that like some of the often overlooked elements of songwriting can really kind of enhance a song. So like on a previous episode, we talked about how like writing a good bridge can really like elevate a song with like key changes and stuff. Here, it's the pre-chorus, the kind of slow bit where he's kind of like, he's going through like the same kind of lyrical lines that will eventually pop with the chorus, but it's very subdued. It's slow. The instrumental kind of like builds and builds and builds. And then when it pops into his,
it's the Dan Walls opening,
voice breaking kind of fucking scream thing that he does. But he does it so well.
He does. It's the most unique sound in this particular.
And what it does is like it, when his voice like breaks in and out of those different timbres, it feels like it isn't intentional, but it clearly is, because he hits particular words.
Imagine like you're standing up in front of your English class, about to give your like 8th grade like presentation, and your voice cracks and you hear it and you're like,
I should just do that.
That's something.
Yeah, I think it's like such a perfect sound for what the band does. And I just think all of the elements that make them so unique and make them so good at this particular genre are exemplified in this song. I just think the pre-chorus rocks. Like, just like it builds the kind of tension that you want, so that when the pop hits and the chorus hits, you're like,
you get a cummy.
Yes, release.
There was enough
Sonic
foreplay
cummy.
For the Sonic cummy.
My ears came.
For sure. Yeah, no, I really like it. I think it's going to be one of those songs that I play to death. You know, like most Mulligan singles for sure. And then a few of those deeper cuts. But yeah, great band. And this is what I've grown to love and expect of them.
Yeah. So the full EP is out. It's a 3-track EP, Warmer Weather. You can go stream it now.
Go get the app.
Yes. Final track for side A this week comes from Nam/Melbourne, which is
That's here.
where we
That's
are.
where we live.
Yes. This is from power pop punk outfit Leatherman. We featured them on the show a while ago with their debut single Telephone. But they have come through, with a brand new song. Now, you'll remember that the group is born from members of Clowns and Cable Ties.
Yes, yeah.
So
little bit of a like Australian supergroup type
little
thing.
bit of a supergroup side project type deal.
Again, hoarding the talent.
So this one is again through local label Legless Records, but the track is called Big Shoes, and it is, quote, a hard-rocking, power-popping, guitar-many stacked love song to partying. With Thin Lizzy-esque riffs, swinging rhythms, and belting vocals, the song is like cracking your first tinny on the weekend.
That's a great write-up.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's why I just dropped it straight in there. Because, I'm not going to do any better than that.
No, yeah, I totally get you. That was sick.
But yeah, this is
Love
pretty much
tinnies.
exactly what I expect from Leatherman, which is, power pop, short songs with Thin Lizzy riffs.
My Leatherman always has like a screwdriver, a knife, a flathead, just like all these little bits in it, and I like that about it.
That's so cool, dude.
The more you know.
Yes. All right. Let's have a listen. This is Leatherman, Big Shoes.
Let's go.
There's no one who can do it better. Big shoes, boots, and guitar. When the moon is up, you look like a star. In wood glitter. When the music's up, there's stars in my eyes. Nighttime is your time.
Super fun outro.
Yeah, very, that's your Thin Lizzy.
Yeah, the
Sort of
guitar-many
inspired.
part of that, write-up is very accurate.
Love a
because-
good, like, hey,
Yeah.
as well. Breaks it up.
It's good fun.
Fun for live performances too.
Yeah. Well, like they said, it's an ode to partying. So, it should be fun. It should be bubbly. Should be something you want to
There's
fucking
nothing
get
like
wasted
quite
to.
like being in a crowd and getting to the holler back lyrics, and then you all do it, and then you all are like, we all love this music. And it's a very bonding moment.
I mean, crowd participation is key. And if you give them, either things to headbang to, stuff to dance to, or stuff to just be like, hey.
Although, when like that one overzealous person who's tone deaf gets the mic, honestly, it makes the gig half the time.
Yeah.
But it's too funny when it's like,
Or when people record gigs with their phone and then they're singing over the top of it.
me.
That wasn't at you, but it is you.
You're welcome, everyone I know on Instagram.
That wraps up side A for this week. So I hope everyone has enjoyed that collection of songs. Paige is still playing with the actual Leatherman. Very good. Put the prop away.
Okay.
We're going to keep the show rolling over at side B, which you can find on the TPD Patreon. We implore you to go over there, sign up, support the show, check out the rest of the episode. And that's pretty much all I got to say.
We're over there hanging out, saying ludicrous things that you can't even believe.
Yeah, we got 3 more tracks for the episode, as well as 2 tracks from the feature album. So there's like a whole other half of the show that you get over there.
You can
So
come and watch.
Come check it out.
Come hang out with us.
All right. We'll
We're
catch you
nice.
later. See ya.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Subscribe now to the Pitch of Discontent Patreon to receive access to extended cuts of our bonus episodes, as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes content, monthly Patreon-only episodes, member-only votes, the TPD community chat, and much more. Go now to patreon.com/tpdpod and join for as little as $5 a month. That link again is patreon.com/tpdpod. Thanks for watching the show.